topic of brand is absolutely vast. And so what we're focusing on today is how to build a sustainable personal brand with a specific focus on small business owners, which is what we all are here. And our agenda, we have done our intros, and thanks very much, everybody, for that. And then I'm going to take you through the what, what is branding, why does it matter, how does your business brand fit with your personal brand, and then looking forward, how can we build out our brands, what do we need to keep in mind, and then towards the end, we're going to create a piece of content that you can put out today. So we're going to do that. It's a lot to fit in, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we manage to do it. So what I'd like to do, just to get the ball rolling here, is if you could hit the emoji at the bottom and just let us know by emoji how you're feeling today. What's the mood on this Thursday morning? Gavin, I hope we can turn that into a smile now by the end. Oh, great. Val, brilliant, brilliant. Let me just have a little scroll down, see what anyone else is posting. Hopefully some smiley faces are going to pop up. Anyway, so keep going with that. Um, and a little bit about me. So I'm Mary Fleming, and I'm a branding specialist. My own business is Mary Fleming Design. Um, and my background is I've come from marketing. I'm the eldest of seven children. This is my poor mother here, pregnant 7 times, like just seemed to be permanently pregnant. Um, I was a hockey player in school. The thing I can't live without is probably earrings. Earrings are my thing. In terms of my professional branding background, my degree, my base degree is in marketing. I've studied with Christo in the Future Group, Brandmaster Academy. I've worked at Ogilvy. I've studied with Level C, Marty Newmeyer, and Fiona Humberstone, the brand stylist in England, and others. Like with branding, you're never finished. It's like ongoing in terms of the learnings. I would describe myself as a dog person, and this is me, being taken for a walk by my dog. I also um, would have been a sort of a more of a towny person. I'm originally from Bray, and now this is my local town. Although I live out in the countryside, this is Gorey. If anyone recognises it, like a lot of Dublin people love to come down here for the summer holidays, and out by Courtown and Tara Hill, which is this mountain here in the background. And photography. Like I love all things creative. That is what really, I suppose, is my way of expressing myself. So in order to get started today, what is a brand? And if you Google what is a brand, you will get so many different responses, different variations. And I think that's part of the problem for small business owners is there are so many sort of confusing voices online, and it just muddies the water. So because like your brand is like a multi-layered entity and it's an intangible, it's not something like you can pick up, particularly as a service business owner. It's very difficult to kind of get your arms around it. So I've chosen two quotes or two definitions here that I think encapsulate brand really, really well. So brand is the customer's perception. So it's a perception. It's something that we perceive of what a product or service represents and how it makes them feel. So, we all have relationships with brands in the world, clothes that we buy, places that we go, foods that we like to, we always go to, and we for which we consider, there isn't an alternative. And that's the power of brand. And Martin Neumeyer's definition is it's a customer's gut feeling. So it's just that feeling you get about something. You can't explain it. It can be about a product, a service, a company, or a person, really. And I, would 100% recommend any of Martin Neumeyer's books, by the way, The Brand Gap, Zag, Flip. He's got quite a few really, really good on the topic of brand. So in terms of what you're building with a brand and a sustainable brand is you're bringing your customers, your audience, your potential customers and your audience on a journey with you. Um, and that journey can be, more straightforward without all these bends and twists and like difficulties, basically, for us as small business owners as we take people on that journey of know, like, and trust. So it's a process. It's not something that you do overnight. You take them with you um, through via an intentional route. And if everyone has their phone handy, what I'd like to do actually is to get, if you could just scan this will take you to a Menti place or to a Menti page. And if you could just tell me in your own words, what makes somebody trustworthy in your opinion? Like what kind of qualities or characteristics do you look for in somebody, and which you rate as them being a trustworthy person in your opinion? Which could be different for all of us. So just take a moment to do that. Okay, these are great. Really, really interesting. So let me just give you a synopsis here of what I'm seeing. Um, so referral reputation. So somebody else referring you on adds to your trust level of another person. Kindness. This is one I always go for, actually. Somebody who's kind, especially if they're kind to dogs. Reputation. Yep. A smile can do it for me. I love that. Whoever put that in. A good track record of delivering what they say. Yeah, so building up that consistency and that doing what you actually say you will do, because it's easy to make lots of promises, but when you fail on delivering, that can just ruin all that good work beforehand. Authenticity, yeah, that's a real buzzword, but it is absolutely true, and especially as it applies to your personal brand. Good reviews, yeah, we trust what other people say, and that carries huge weight, especially for somebody that we don't really know or a business that we don't really know. And again, that's come up: consistency and positive reviews. Super. High in integrity, words and actions align. Like, and that's a key thing. And particularly as it relates to your personal brand, where you are a person who actually follows through on what you say you're going to do. Um, Even when maybe sometimes it won't suit you. And you know yourself, like in business, you have those days where maybe you don't feel like doing whatever it is you've said you will do, when you're in the pit. A good service with professional knowledge in a timely manner, absolutely. You need to actually be able to do and be competent in the service that you're providing, or the product that you're providing. Transparency and honesty, reliable and true to the word. So that's come up again. That's come up a few times. Honesty, openness, frankness as needed, and do as they say, absolutely. And again, confidence and honesty. Honesty, this is one that's probably popping up most of all. Not trying to put on a show, and good reviews, and seems to be a real person. Yeah, and that's more important than ever with the way the world is at the moment. Integrity, values their reputation highly, and even if something goes wrong, which happens, stands over their work. Yeah. And we all know businesses that are like that. And holistic, so looking at the whole picture, enjoy their work and keeps everyone and their clients happy. Yeah, enjoys their work is so valuable. So let me just come back in to Zoom 1 second. Thanks everybody for taking part in that. Let me just go back into Corvette. So that gives us a really good picture of what we look for in others. And if that's what we're looking for in others, that's more than likely what others are going to be looking for in us, as personal brands. So, we talked about what is a business brand. Now, a subset of that is what is a personal brand. And a personal brand is an intentional public persona based on what you want to be known for. So there's an element of strategy behind it, an intention in terms of where you want to go. Like what do you want to be known for? What's going to be advantageous, as it aligns with your goals for your business, or if you're, in a career role of some kind. Um, So either way is aligned with your personal professional goals, and is definitely of you. It is not something that a completely separate identity that you make up, because that becomes really difficult and doesn't align with the authenticity or the honesty that we saw earlier. So this is the relationship of how it all kind of fits together. There is you, the individual, that private person, and you're looking at taking parts of that private person that you are happy to bring into that public personal side of yourself, so that um, outward facing side, that person that maybe turns up on social media or in networking groups or wherever, and whatever kind of marketing that you do. So you're bringing um, elements of yourself that are true to you and that are linked in with your values. And in turn, that also overlaps with your business. So some people will operate under their own name. Other people operate under a business name, but you still can lead with that personal brand, regardless of the setup of your business. And an example I always love to give is Virgin Media and Richard Branson. That's a huge business, but he is leading that with the personal brand while still creating a separate entity that can be sold on. So why build a personal brand as a small business owner? Like, sometimes branding can seem to be the preserve of the really big companies, the likes of Virgin Media, the likes of Apple, Steve Jobs, um, and so many others. But the huge advantage that we have as small business owners is um, you have full control over your personal brand. There is nobody to tell you what you need to do, and to take control of it. It is also your own intellectual property, you know, and you can leverage it in the same way that you can with your business brand. And while building a personal brand that overlaps with your business brand, your business may change, you may pivot, but the personal brand can be a constant and can continue to grow in value over time. So coming back to the sort of full ecosystem of a brand, and I like to think of a brand kind of aligned with the metaphor of a tree. It's very, very similar. The roots, which you don't see necessarily, hopefully you don't anyway, in a healthy tree. Um, and at root level or foundation level, they're your goals, your sense of purpose, your mission, what drives you to do what you do, what are your values, and what is your overall vision for the business? Like, where do you want to take it? And that connects then through the audience, the people that you want to work with, your positioning, how you position yourself in the market, your own personality, and all of that connects out to the things that you usually actually hear people kind of get caught up on. For example, and you probably relate to this, like social media. Like, so many people will come to me saying, I need to post more on social media. That is my big problem. And it is great, obviously, to be consistent with social media, but without having a kind of a much clearer sense of this aspect of things, it becomes difficult here, because you find yourself second guessing yourself, kind of wandering down all sorts of branches of the decision tree. And that's just one thing. You've got your website, maybe trade shows that you go to, referrals, either people referring to you, you referring to others, collaborations, possibly, um, voice presentations, such as this one, photography, really, really important as part of a personal brand, and then all the other places that you might turn up. And this list isn't exhaustive. There are just so many possibilities, but regardless of the number of possibilities, kind of getting this clear for yourself will make life much, much easier. So the role of the personal brand as it relates to your business or your career brand is as the endorser. So your personal brand is leading people to your business brand, into your small business. So you are the person who turns up at networking meetings. You are the person at the kind of the top of the triangle, if you like, of your business, and maybe any other businesses that you've been in or that you will be in future. But that personal brand is the endorser. So it is, if you can imagine that, your personal brand is leading people to you, and you're making it easy for them through building a personal brand because you're helping them to see the qualities that we saw in the Menti slide, the poll there that we did earlier. As you'll see, I do love a visual metaphor. You know, if you can imagine a tandem bicycle, where both cyclists are powering the bicycle to go forward. It's the personal brand on the back seat, which is pushing the business forward and happily doing so. So I just wanted to do a little experiment here. It's pretty quick. And if you could just in the chat go A or B as we go through these. And how are we doing? So with these cookies, which would you say, just based very quickly on the look, which would you say are the healthier cookies? Okay, next one. Looking at these two bags of coffee, which would you say is the stronger coffee? Like, if you days would you go for? Okay. And if you're choosing a shampoo, and you had plenty of money to treat yourself, which of these looks like the more expensive one in your opinion? So, Clara, I don't know. I can't see the chat. If you could just tell me, like, are we mostly seeing A's or B's here, or like, what are the results?
Yeah, the common themes are all the same. So for this one, pretty much everyone picked A. I think everyone was on
Yeah,
a similar vein for all of them.
brilliant. Okay, so like the reason I'm showing you these is, just flick back through them. This is just like the power of perception. Okay, we all think we're immune to it. We're not. It is just the way we are. Our brains are wired as humans. We pick up cues very, very quickly. Now, this is by and large visual cues, but we pick up all sorts of cues, and we're not even aware of doing it. And this is true of our personal brands, and really, that's why I wanted to draw your attention to this. Um, on a on a kind of top level as well, what your personal brand is doing for you, or for what any brand is doing, it's helping differentiate you. So where you're in a marketplace where there are other providers providing something very similar to you, your personal and your business brand obviously help differentiate you. They help you be seen in the sea of same. It also lends credibility um, to people, again, in your audience, and potential customers or clients. It gives them clarity, but it also gives you clarity also around what you stand for. It gives people confidence in you, and it gives you confidence in yourself. The work and intentional, because you can build, I suppose, like we all have some kind of personal brand. There may be no intention behind it. It's something that we've sort of accidentally wandered into. It could be working great for us. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But by putting some intention behind it and making it work harder for you, for all of us, what can that help us achieve? So we're going back to that same know, like, and trust, bringing people on that journey with us, giving ourselves a little place in the brains of other, the people that we want to work with or connect with. It also increases your visibility, which in turn increases your connections, and which in turn increases the number of opportunities for you. And they can be opportunities of all sorts. They could be business opportunities. It could be opportunities to maybe make an impact of some kind that is something that possibly in an area that you would really like to do. But by kind of increasing one end, so the visibility, which broadens out your connections and which also broadens out your opportunities. And that's a cyclical effect. That's continuously increasing or spiraling system. So also the getting that sense of clarity for yourself on what you stand for, who you are, what your brand is, reduces that sense of overwhelm. Maybe that overwhelm that can be caused by having to make so many decisions around your brand, or what to post, or who you are today. That comes down, and which is very important when we're talking about building a sustainable personal brand that fits into our lives. When overwhelm comes down, energy comes up. We feel better about ourselves. We've got greater headspace. And as small business owners, you know how important that is, that you can greet the day with a clear head. And people tend to buy, going back to our responses earlier, when they trust you, when they can see your competence, they can see that you know what you're doing, and that what you say you can do, that you actually can do, and when they feel comfortable with you. So the you know, if you think out into like your personal life, your business life, people that you feel comfortable with, um, you're more drawn to, and you're more likely to have a conversation with even, um, and it just makes it easier to help somebody buy from you. How are we doing? That was so building a personal brand helps builds potential buyer confidence in you and grows your audience over time in order to build the visibility, opportunities, and connections. So I just wanted to give you all the great reasons, because building a brand is obviously work. There's no getting around that part of it, but it doesn't need to take over your life. So you can see here, you know, as you build a brand, your visibility increases and your sustainable business increases. So like we all want to, well, I know myself from the clients that I work with, most people would say to me, look, I don't want to spend all my day doing marketing. I want to do the thing that I do, the thing that I love. I know marketing and branding is sort of like a necessary evil, seems to be the thinking on it. Um, but when you include it in a sustainable way, um, you're going to see the results. Your visibility is going to increase, and you're going to, at the end of the day, have a more valuable brand. Looking now out to the future for ourselves, how are we going to build our personal brands as small business owners in such a way that doesn't take over our lives, doesn't become the thing that we do 24/7. And I think for most people, you've got that conflict of work and home life, and then that time crunch that seems to happen, um, inevitably happen. Another factor to that's really important as well at the moment, especially in terms of content. And you'll hear like a lot more people um, saying that they're, you know, that the amount of AI content online is really, really off-putting. But you've got to remember that while AI can produce content and it's going to get better and better at doing that, that's the reality. Only you as an individual can bring your personality, and authenticity beats perfection or polish any day. You know, we are attracted to real people, and authenticity and honesty, as came up earlier. So, you know, because you will hear, and we all do, you know, hear about AI and the risks that it's bringing and the positives, and you know everybody has a different opinion on it, but I think we're all agreed on that one fact, that only you as an individual can bring your personality. And the to think of, I like to think of your personality as like a treasure chest of jewels that you are sitting on and probably don't even realize it. And that includes your approach, like how you like to do things, how you like to work with people. Like Clara said, you know, your approach to customer service, your approach to people, the wealth of experiences that you've had, you know, right through from your earliest memories right through to today. Everybody has a different path, and that is something that you can very easily bring into your personal brand, and which is also unique to you. And nobody else has lived your life, only you. And of course, your brand story is another part that's very much wrapped into your experiences, and which also ties into maybe your interests, your likes, your dislikes, your hobbies. It can be as wide as you like to make it, and it doesn't need to be even elaborate. You can be talking about little moments in time that you can share with people. Um, but it's really important to draw on that rich reserve that you're already sitting on, the gold mine you're already sitting on, and bring it into your personal brand. So with any kind of a strategy, there's like the thinking phase, if you like. There's which is like the gathering together of information. There's the planning, like kind of collating and connecting things and working out what you're going to do with it. And then there's the action, the taking the action. We're kind of focusing here today on like the thinking side of things. And what we want to avoid doing as we go forward is just running around in circles, like burning up energy, burning up time, and really getting nowhere. We want to build brands that grow over time and have I suppose, realistic expectations, like a personal brand or any kind of brand actually, is not an overnight once and done. It's something that you evolve with, you continuously nurture and feed, and you'd be surprised actually looking back. It's always easier when you're looking back to see how far you've come, and you've already all come very far. And like I suppose we're talking about here today is putting more intention behind it in order to make it more sustainable and to fit in with your life, keeping an eye on the time. So what I'd like to do is so that you have a piece of content that you can actually skip ahead into the doing piece where you can post a personal branded, if you like, piece of content. And Clara is going to pop a link into the chat. And just to give you a little example of what this could look like. So what you'll see when you click on the link is a template in Canva, which you can customize for yourself. And it takes you through, I think there's a number of pages, which you can either complete all of them or you can choose the ones that you want to fill out. And it takes somebody through from like if you like a virtual introduction, hello, have we met yet? A little photo of you, your name, what you do, and a short introduction to you. So, which will include, like, I would really like to see everybody include, I started my business because we all want to know why somebody started or how somebody got involved in doing whatever it is that you're doing today. And through then to your contact details. So just give you a moment to go in and take a look at that. And I will just try and open that on my own page here. Okay, I'll just stop the share and I'll just reshare back into this. Now, you might not get to do this now. Like I realize we are running pretty tight, so I'm just going to show you um, how you can adapt it for yourself. Okay, can everyone see my Canva window? Yeah, great. So basically, you've pages um, where you can click into the text box, add your own name, and adjust this. My business helps, or I help, fill in the blank, and a short intro to what makes me tick. Bridge Enterprise Centre's logo is here. You can leave that in and add your own, or put your own on it. It's a personal choice. So questions include, I started my business because. So you're telling us the why behind you and what you do, and here enter your reason. These little frames, you can add photographs in, and or not. Like if you don't have enough photographs, or you can choose a graphic or whatever you like, really, feel free to take them off. What working with me feels like. So let's help somebody imagine what words maybe describe your style of working, or maybe there's a testimonial or some feedback that you've received at some point. This would be the place to add that. Best part of my job. What is it that you love about what you do? Let's kind of pick up on that energy and that contagiousness of your enjoyment for what you do, because it is so much nicer to work with people who love what they do than people who are just dragging themselves through the day. What I'm known for. Now, you may feel, okay, well, I'm really not known for anything yet. Regardless, list the three things that you are known for or that you'd like to be known for. So consider this sort of semi-aspirational. A few things about me. So tell us here maybe some little interesting fun facts about you, and purely at a comfort level that you're comfortable with sharing. It could be your interests, hobby, a favorite book, a book you've just read, a Netflix series, or a drink that you like to drink, or something that you like, a recipe that is sort of like your go-to. You full creative freedom with all of this. My go-to feel-good song. What's a song you love when you're feeling down in the dumps, maybe, or when you need to bring the energy level up. This little graphic here with the three overlapping circles, what I'm known for, it picks up on some of the information that you've already completed here. What I help people with or help people do, you can change that, add it in, and who I help. And if you're posting this to social media, this carousel size is set to work for Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. If this sounds like you, please get in touch. And lastly, how to contact me. So as in how to contact you, I'd delete this text and add your own contact details. If you have a website, your email address that you prefer to be contacted at, maybe inviting people to DM you to chat, your phone number, if that's something that you'd like to include here. Up to you. So let me just come out of this again. I'm really running right up to the wire here. So maybe take a few minutes after we finish here and, just get that done and post it out and see what happens. I'd say you'll get a great reaction to it. And I'll come back here just the last couple of slides. So we're back here. In terms of deciding, about your personal brand and how you want to go forward in a sustainable way, it's important to consider your own personal energy levels. What works for you or for somebody else can be completely different. So that's something to look at for yourself. Your area of focus, what really drives you, and where do you want to be? Which again is going to be different for other people. What kind of an impact do you want to make? And so consider the three of those. So your energy levels, how do you want to feel in your business? What our goal is to create something that's sustainable and doable. So I would say, looking at just that energy point, don't bite off things that you know are going to be really, really difficult to achieve with the energy levels or the space that you have in your life. Like if you're, looking after a family, whatever it is, your energy is probably going to be depleted at certain times, and that could change. But just to bear in mind, your focus, what you want to grow or prioritize into your personal brand, looking at your long-term vision and your goals and your what do you want to create. I'm sorry, really fly through here at the end. If anyone would like to sign up to my newsletter, so it was part of my own branding. I call it the defogger, which ties in with my tagline of helping you lift the brand fog. That's the code that'll take you direct to the website to sign up for that. That's every Saturday I do that. I don't use